We had several really good questions for our ASE Certified Master Mechanic, Phil. So let's go have Phil answer those questions for you. If you have any more questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below and we'll get them answered. A couple questions from our excellent followers. First one is from Brandon. And the question is, for daily driving a classic, do you recommend carburetor or electronic fuel injection?
That's a really good question. There are some advantages to going with fuel injection. Ease of starting. They adjust on the fly, so they're really more economical. They burn cleaner, so there's less emissions. Usually hit the key, start up, you're done. There's no tune-up required, and you don't have points condenser. Spark plugs last longer. There's no adjusting the carburetor. There's no choke to adjust for colder weather. So there are a lot of benefits to it. But if you're looking for something that is period correct, there's no problem with using a carburetor. These carbureted cars ran from the time they were brand new without issue. As long as you have somebody that can set the carburetor up correctly, and then you'll have to do your annual tune-ups. There's no reason to not use a carburetor, especially if you're doing it with a daily driver where you keep the carburetor wet. Once the carburetor dries out, that's when they start to have leaking issues. If you drive it every day, they stay moist and you don't have the cracking gaskets and dried out situations that you do if you let it sit for a few weeks at a time before you drive it. So if it's truly a daily driver, there's no reason to really not use a carburetor if you want it to stay period correct looking. If you don't mind the period correct look not being there, then fuel injection, given it's a little more money, is just more reliable.
Cool, awesome. And another question. This is from Robin at West Down Photography. She's one of our excellent rental customers.
Oh, very cool.
For photo shoots. Very cool. She says, I still have my first car, a 91 Honda Prelude, and I have a hard time finding parts. Is there a place that you recommend? I've looked at eBay, but I don't always trust the dealers.
Wow, you still have your first car. That is so cool.
91 Honda, that's a cool car now. I really like this.
There's enough of them out there that there are still parts available for them. Sometimes a local parts store might not be your best bet because they won't stock something once it gets to a certain age. Rock Auto would probably be my go-to for something like that. They have a really good parts catalog, and they carry a lot of parts in stock. It might take a day or two to get shipped to you, but I've bought a lot of parts, hundreds of parts from Rock Auto, and I think I've received the wrong part one time. So I know they get a lot of flack for shipping the wrong part, but I really think it's user error. People are clicking on something without really looking to see if it truly fits their car. But yeah, Rock Auto would be my go-to.
Perfect. Yeah, and I've had a good experience with them too. So
yeah, and you get a magnet.
You get a magnet every time.